I read White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I have a lot to say, so let's go ahead and talk about it. In this one, we follow Marigold, who moves from California to this Midwest town with her mom, brother, stepdad, and stepsister. It is supposed to be a fresh start for the whole family, but for Marigold, it becomes complicated. She's struggling with anxiety, addiction, and is trying so hard to move forward. But when strange things start happening in their creepy new house, no one takes her seriously. Not because they don't believe in ghosts, but because they don't believe her. And that's where the tension really starts to build, and it gets frustrating real fast. First off, I love that Tiffany D. Jackson never just writes a simple story. The gentrification subplot in this is brilliant. Jackson digs into race, class, addiction, and the way outsiders with money come into struggling communities under the banner of revitalization. And without spoiling anything, let's just say it gets real dark when you realize the lengths people will go in order to clean up a neighborhood, especially when that involves criminalizing the very people who live there. But sometimes I felt like these social themes and the horror slash thriller elements were fighting each other, and the characters were so frustrating. Marigold is doing her best, but everyone around her is either dismissing her or outright blaming her for things. To me, the stepdad felt fully out of touch, like he's the kind of person who's never had to think about race or systemic issues and says things that are so tone deaf it's almost laughable if it weren't so irritating. The mom, she felt checked out. I understand wanting to start over, but it's like she left her daughter behind emotionally at times. And Piper, her stepsister, oh my god, that poor girl. She's irritating, but goddamn, that poor girl. And there's her younger brother, Sammy, and he was hesitant at first. You could tell that he really wanted to believe her, but because of her past, it was tough for him to fully trust what she was saying. Still, by the end, he came around and stood by her when it counted. Friendship dynamics were interesting. I actually liked Yusuf and Erica, but even those didn't feel fully developed. And Erica, something pretty big happens to her, and we just never really circled back to it. So that felt like a weird loose end that needed at least some closure for me. And the ending felt rushed. So many questions still up in the air and no sense of what's next. I didn't need everything tied up in a bow, but I wanted something more. Instead, it feels like it kind of just stopped. And for a story that built up so much tension and mystery, that just kind of left me feeling unsatisfied. So yeah, White Smoke had some great ideas and creepy moments, and I'm glad I experienced it, especially through the audiobook, but the ending didn't quite land for me. But if you're into psychological thrillers with layered themes and a little bit of chaos, then you might still enjoy it. But if you need a satisfying conclusion, just be prepared to be a little frustrated. Anyway, if you've read this, I would love to know your thoughts, and as always, happy reading.